Good morning, guys. Today I am just doing a good old-fashioned vlog style video, and the theme of the day is writing picture books, coupled with a little bit of holiday decorating. So these days I have been focused on learning how to write picture books and just kind of researching and practicing. And I've got about 4 or 5 different manuscripts on the go. And so I find that the best time for me to do this writing is in the morning. So usually I start my morning by doing a little bit of research on the iPad. I do think that keeping yourself up to speed on what's going on in the industry and just looking at what's being released and what is getting noticed is really helpful, not only in terms of looking at the visuals, at the illustrations, but also looking at the kind of themes that are being picked up. Themes and concepts are really big in terms of children's books because these books are education tools for kids. And so the different things that they're going through developmentally and the different things that they're being introduced to in the world, like one example these days is gender issues are pretty big. These are all good things to write books about. So after iPad time, I turn over to morning pages. I don't exactly do morning pages super traditionally. It's like kind of half stream of consciousness. It's not always 3 pages as Julia Cameron recommends, but I have been doing them ever since I quit my job. And I've got 9 colorful moleskins filled up, and it's just a super gratifying experience to me. It really crystallizes kind of what's been going on in my mind and gets it onto the page, and it's a source of a lot of ideas. A lot of ideas just seem to come out of the cracks of the morning pages. Since picture books have been on the brain, a lot of them have been about picture book ideas, and so you can kind of see on this page what a page might look like. It's not necessarily the most cohesive thing in the world, but it has just snippets, and it might have a title and it might have a line. And then what I do is I take my computer and I start to string together these random lines and ideas, and I see if a story comes out. And sometimes a story does come out, and sometimes a story does not come out. And sometimes I write a story really fast and it's all flowing, and sometimes I struggle and I can't really find the flow. Sometimes I finish writing a story and I think it is the best thing since sliced bread. And then the next day I'll go and I'll read what I've written the day before, and I'll be like, oh, never mind. So this is a really interesting practice for me, working on these manuscripts and learning essentially how to write picture books, because they're so different than writing anything else. It really depends on having a super tight and super strong story arc. Often it depends on having a really strong and likable and relatable character for the kids to kind of follow through this story arc. And then, of course, setting and secondary characters and humor and stuff also come into play. So, yes, I think I'm getting better, but I don't really know. As a bonus, during the winter, Pierre gets much more into hanging out with me in the morning. So often he'll come around at some point, usually when I have the computer out, because he likes going under the computer. And Pierre will just have a nice little purr, and then sometimes he'll just sit on my lap while I'm drinking my coffee and doing my research reading and stuff like that. And so It's always nice to have him around. So my next little noontime project today is that I am refreshing the main wall of my studio. I like my studio to be kind of a space of inspiration. So you can see I've got like some fine art and some children's art and some of the little Paris things from Mr. T, and just kind of some stuff that I'm working on and I don't really know what it is yet. And I actually find that like putting all of this together in the same place almost kind of helps in terms of like cohesion with my own style and seeing how things look together and fit together, and sometimes it'll spark ideas and stuff like that. And so I'm thinking that this wall is just going to progressively turn into this like living dynamic gallery wall of all of the stuff that I have going on, and I can switch it out as needs be, but the vision is that this whole wall will be filled with stuff sooner than later. So now after lunch, we are doing some picture book reading. And again, since the theme of this season is writing picture books, and there's also a reason why I'm doing this, and I will tell you that I have some exciting news, but I will make that announcement later in like a more focused video. So I have been checking out loads of picture books in the library and reading them, so I can see what I like about the ones that I like and see what works and see what's out there and kind of like notice the different concepts that they talk about. I do not have children, so this is sort of another thing that I'm trying to bridge. So reading all of these picture books is really helpful. And I think my favorite right now is John Klassen. Like, he is just awesome. He's like, the thing that I like about John Klassen is that he doesn't treat kids like kids. He treats kids like little sophisticated beings who haven't like lost their sense of wonder and aren't cynical and stuff. So that is definitely kind of like my approach to writing and illustrating children's books as well. And that's why I do it, because I just love the world that children have access to that often we cut ourselves off from. Another book series that I really love is the Questionnaires. So this one is Sophia Valdez Future Prez. And another one is Rosie Revere Engineer. And so it's basically about these girls who accomplish like these awesome things, essentially saying like, yes, you can do whatever you want. And this one is great. I love the illustrations. I love the details. Like, I love all of these little outfits everyone's wearing and the colors, and the style is so different from mine. And that is very inspiring to me sometimes. Sometimes you can pick stuff up when people have a really different style and you can integrate it into your own work in a way that's not iterative, that's almost like fresh and new and kind of like honoring what you have seen. And so I find that looking through this kind of stuff is also really visually inspiring. I'm the kind of person who never, I never stick with my style and say, oh, this is my style. I'm kind of constantly evolving because I get bored really easily, I guess. And now, the evening activity of the day is we are decking the Coco. So Coco is the name of my house. And we are giving her annual holiday spruce. And Pierre is incredibly excited about this, as you can see. So obviously we need some inspiration for this activity in the form of my favorite Pinot Noir and a classic holiday film. Unlike some people, I don't really have like my go-to decoration scheme every year yet. This is the third year that I have been in Coco for Christmas. And I think that I'm getting it down. This year I get a baby pine. I get a living pine because I like the idea of it continuing to live and planting it. However, they've all died in the past, so we'll see. But I get a baby pine, and this year I think what I'm going to do, I got all these lights last year that I was going to put up on the exterior, but then that was just like way too intense. So I decided that I'm just going to kind of make my house like a little lit up nook situation. I spend a lot of time in the evenings in this room, and so this is kind of like the focus of the light show, I suppose. I just feel like, I don't know, like the little tea lights go so far. They make everything so cozy. So I think that we have this room done, and then tomorrow I will probably put some lights around the studio as well, and perhaps light up the wall that I created. And now it is time to watch The Crown and to take care of some Etsy orders for the holidays. So I hope that you have enjoyed this little glimpse into a day in the life. And I hope that you guys are having a wonderful start to your holiday season. And so until next time, TTFN.